Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the SimSN Podcast, the show where I ask some of my favorite questions to some of your favorite people. Today, I'm joined by yet another great member of our admin team and a fellow Big Ten coach. Sir Guest, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hey guys, you guys all know me as Subsequent, owner of the Falcons on the NFL side of things, and then of course every other league I have a team: Michigan, UC Irvine, Cal Golden, Cal Cal Golden Seals, California Golden Seals, and I almost got confused with Cal Golden Bears, but California Golden Seals and the LIU Sharks in the college hockey. So great to be here. Great to be here.
Thanks. Great to have you. Busy man, diving in with both feet, sounds like.
Yeah, 6 feet, really, right? I mean, I want to make sure that I'm involved in all the different sims, even if I'm not necessarily as big of a, in one sport or one league or whatever in the other. I want to at least be in part of everything because, being part of everything is integral to me understanding what the experience is like
Mm.
for, you know, someone who's experienced or someone who's new to the Sims, and I want to make sure everyone's having a good time and that I know, hey, are there nuances or pain points or good things that we want to bring and fix and whatever. So I think it's important for me to try to be as involved as I can across the different leagues in the ecosystem that we have.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and I get that from like Tuscan too, where he'll say, "Yeah, we've been doing this thing, with hockey that we tried out, or I want to bring this thing in, to football, and so,
Yeah.
but both to get a chance to use what works, but also to kind of homogenize, so people who say, "Oh yeah, we like what this works, and we can bring it into the other leagues." Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so first questions first, I have to ask for anyone who doesn't know, what is the bread connotation and where does that come from?
You know, I don't know, right? I mean, I do, right? I do, I kind of, but I don't, right? I think like early on in one of the other communities that I was part of, that a lot of the guys here are also part of, right? I just kind of like, I don't know, I like bread, and it was just like I was like, I'm just gonna make this thing, and and just like be like weird about bread and make bread puns and and I think because of that, that's how it kind of it kind of grew, and it eventually rose to to what we have today. And I guess it could have been anything else, right? It really could have been anything else, but bread it was, and it was just, I don't know, it's funny. I saw, so my avatar, right, is this little bread guy that
Mm.
says Toasty the helpful toast. And the reason it says that, reason I have that, I didn't make that. I actually found it. Someone years ago posted like, it was like, hey, I'm a creator of this like little webtoon, or like a YouTube series. It's like 3 episodes, like I don't know, 5-6 minutes long, of this like bread, this little Toasty the helpful toast character, like, and of course it's just like absurd. But I like the little pictures. I just like kind of, took a screenshot of it and use that as an avatar on, like, I don't know, my Steam profile or something like that. And because I had that, I was like, well, toasty, bread. So and then kind of just carried over. And now wherever I go, if I'm making a profile and it's like something sort of related to like kind of this online presence of mine, then I'll just use that same logo and use Toasty or whatever.
I love that. So it just
Yeah.
it just kind of happened organically, and now it's a thing, a
Well,
permanent
so
thing.
it's organic, but then like I started. It wasn't like, sometimes you get like a nickname, right, on a
Hmm.
team or like in school or whatever. It's like someone would give you that nickname, right? But like no one really gives themselves a nickname,
Hmm.
but I kind of did in that way. So it's kind of weird, right? It's very unorthodox and very gauche, but
Uh,
here we are.
hey, on behalf of every person, especially every teenager who tried to get themselves a nickname and couldn't get it to stick, congratulations on your success.
I know, right? There you go.
Yeah,
Well, it helps when you're online and you're not using a real name, right?
yeah. Who would use their
But
real name on
oh
the
yeah, that'd
internet?
be really strange. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
totally who
yeah.
would do that anyway. Um, so you've again you were part of a community, an existing sports community that then kind of
Hmm, hmm.
also added this. Um, so how long have you been playing with some of these same people since
Um,
sports?
yeah, I I think I found out about the previous, the original community that we're all part of, maybe in, I want to say I was either in, was I in college yet? Or I mean, I don't remember if I graduated college at that point. I might have.
Hmm,
I might have. It might have been like really close to when I was my senior year, I think. So that would have been like, and I'm dating myself to a degree, I guess, but it would have been around like 2015, I want to say.
okay.
That sounds right. That must be right. I don't know. I should look it up, but I think it was 2015, and we kind of were all part of that community for 3 years after, maybe, or so, after after I had joined, and then eventually kind of like decided to set this up, and so we've been here in this community, by as a collective group that's actually like established for what, like 6 years now, 7 years, something like that.
I think the first ever forum posts are from 2019 when like the engine was being initially built.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds about right.
and then I imagine by I think 2021, since that was the first college football season, it would have been sometime calendar year 21 where the first season was run. Back when it was,
Yeah,
just college football and it was like recruiting on Google Sheets and stuff like that.
yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about Google Sheets recruiting. Yeah,
Which I
that
which I
was
did not experience, but I joined right after that season, so like I still had
yeah.
like the Alex tutorials of like here's how it's going to be. But
Yes,
then that
yes.
season the interface came along and I,
Oh
I didn't
man,
have to do that. But I remember watching the
I
videos of like here's
completely.
how it works because I was like I'm going to learn. I got
Yeah,
to I got to know how to do this.
yeah, I forgot about that. I think right when we had to like, oh man, we should get Alex to pull up some old screenshots of it or something like that. I'm sure I could probably find it in my own drive too, but I'm pretty sure it was like, yeah, we're supposed to like fill out a form with like the
And you had to
IDs of
know
the
the
players we
IDs.
wanted. Yeah, put in the IDs, and then like put in how many points you wanted, to add to the player, and then there was like some readout at the end. Oh wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, because actually now that I think about it, yeah, that was something that we were trying to figure out was like, hey, look, we don't have a website. How do we do recruiting? Depth charts, that's easy, right? You have a Google sheet, everyone just fills it in,
Hmm.
boom, done. But recruiting is a little bit different, right? There's a level of privacy to that. There's a little bit of a timing.
Yeah.
There's thousands of players. We originally, when we were running our test like classes, and even now, right? Even now, we average something like 7,000 players, like between 6 to 8,000 players, right?
Hmm.
I vaguely recall going through and like looking through like 247 sport, or what is it, whatever, the 247, like the football recruiting websites,
Hmm.
and like going through it and like figuring out like how many each state has like on average per year. So we had a good idea, like, hey, does it make sense for Vermont to have 500 players, right? Like, probably not, right? But then, like, the Miami area probably alone probably has 500 players, right? So it's like, we're just like kind of experimenting with like what's the right mix, right? How do we balance like this like realism with the fun side of things, right? Because
Hmm.
you don't want to be like a team in Delaware and like have nobody in Delaware, right?
Right.
Which it's obviously going to happen. I mean, you're in the Northeast, that's fine, but if you're University of Wyoming and you have as a state a recruiting class of 30 people, right? That sucks if you
Hmm.
have to like only rely on those guys, right? You want to be able to pull from elsewhere. So we do like balance things out and figure things out. And that was just like, I mean, we're still doing it today, right? We're still balancing
Oh
things
yeah.
out, across all of our sims and try to, get it right. I don't think it'll ever be perfect. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a growing beast and it's always evolving and new things happen, right? Partway through some of our seasons, suddenly we have NIL and we have
Oh
to like
yeah.
figure out, hey, do we take it? How do we do it? How do we use NIL and implement that into our game? Can we? Should we?
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of things, right? And that's just the college side of things, right? And you have the NFL too, right? Which is a little bit more straightforward, I think, right? It's very established. There's rules. There's
That's true.
you know more or less, but still, right? You still gotta adapt with what new stuff might happen, and maybe there's something that we want to happen that doesn't already happen in one of the leagues. And
Yeah.
in real life, they're stubborn and they don't want to do it because money and
Hmm.
politics and power and whatever. But for us, it's like, hey, that's cool. Let's do it, right?
Yeah.
That's quirky. That's cool. That makes sense. It makes it more fun. I'm I'm here to have fun, right? I'm not here
Yeah.
to well, I'm here to crush people too, but that's how I have fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Can we, should we, are definitely like the top two questions every time something comes up.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and yeah, you're right. Always growing, always evolving, always. I like the degree. Obviously, there's still like issues that pop up and things we want to perfect, but I
Sure.
like the more that we can go to, fixing problems and plugging holes, and more to, well, what's possible? What could we try to do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And
I
I
I
think we're
would love to
getting there.
figure out
Yeah.
like I would love to get visits into college football where like
Yeah.
every week
Yeah.
you can invite one or two people and get like a boost if you invite them to a home game, and that would also
Absolutely.
impact your scheduling now because you want to, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, on the topic, right? And I'm not saying this is coming because I don't know if we can do it yet. I would love to be able to have some element of money involved. Not like, hey, you make money. I'm not going to send money to somebody for coaching a team, but I think it'd be super cool if we could have money as a way to like boost like your facilities or
Mm,
like affect your education side of things. Maybe that's like a player is there. Hey, I want to get an education as well. So let's hey, how do we bump up the education value points, whatever rank of a school so that they're able to more attract a certain pedigree of player.
hmm
Maybe those players have better football IQ. I don't know, right? Maybe they have a world class gym, and so because they have a world class gym, all these players are like, oh, that's my best bet of getting to the NFL is
hmm
through professional football league. Whoa.
I
But
think the only word I'm scared of is the championship game. That's the only word I'm scared to utter, because they're really litigious
sure,
about that. I
that's
think
true. That's true.
everything else, and even that I've said before. I don't think
Yeah,
my
yeah.
my 30 views are gonna blip anyone's radar, but you never know.
Right. When you make it big. But anyways, yeah, my point being like, hey, how do we do that, right? How do we add this? Because obviously in sports there's money, right? Money's involved. There's no two ways about it. And for better or worse, it's there. It's here to stay, right? And it's
Hmm.
always going to be part of the game. And so how do we take that and implement into what we have, but also make it fun and not unfair and unbalanced? Because of course, I can do. Hey, you win a game, your team gets $1 million, and of course, a team like Tennessee is going to get, $12 million every year, right?
Hmm.
Whereas, a lesser team, or even my team, right? Even Michigan is going to get $5 million because we won only 5 games or something like that, right? And of course, that's always going to make that gap widen. And I want to make sure that while we do have a gap, the gap is built in a way that everyone can still play and have fun and be uh, you know, advantage, but a
Hmm.
different way.
Yeah.
You got to be, so I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
and in a way that's not game breaking, but gives you small bumps here and there,
Yeah,
and it gives
yeah,
people a way to specialize their program.
yeah, yeah.
I'm building up my academics. I'm building up my facilities. I'm building a bigger stadium, so I have better home field advantage. Like,
Exactly,
and there are
exactly.
mechanical levers, but also it's fun RP to say
Right,
what kind of program do I want to build. Um,
exactly. Maybe someone could take, a bottom tier academic school and turn it into the Harvard of the Southwest. I don't know, right?
yeah,
Like, cool, right?
yeah.
Super cool.
The other thing I really would love to figure out how to do is to bring to the NFL something similar to the affinity system, where players
Yeah,
value, especially in free agency, do they value playing time? Do they value winning? Do they value a certain system? And
absolutely.
make it, again, little extra features of, oh well, I can get this free agent not just because of my cap situation, but because I can offer them, you know, something that they want. Um,
Absolutely. Today
and
it's a numbers game, right? Yeah, like
yeah,
you want a player, the team that offers the biggest number wins. And that's it, right?
right.
And
Which
while
there's
that is
absolutely
true,
reason for some players to want that.
of course, yeah, in real life, right? That happens a lot, right? A lot of times you're choosing two things that are very similar. It's about, hey, well, what's going to pay me more, right?
Hmm.
Great, perfect, no problem. But also there's the intangibles, right? You go to, maybe a team, a player wants to go to Miami as opposed to Kansas City because they want the nightlife of Miami. They don't think Kansas City nightlife is good enough,
Hmm.
and that can and should be a way of doing it. And so I think eventually having, because right now our players are just, you know blank, right?
Hmm.
They're just a name and a number, and they give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, right, to a decision, right? And that's always based on just another number that they're reacting off of. I would love for our players to be people, right?
Yeah.
In that they can make a decision based off of not just one single linear, right? For lack of a better word, linear metric, right?
Mhm.
I want them to have personalities, and we have that coded in, right? But it's just not functioning. It's not building off of anything yet. And
Right.
I think eventually, right, like you said, right, playing time or championship contender, or maybe it's a bottom feeding team, and they think, hey, I'm the guy who can make this bottom feeding team, you know less bottom feeding. you know
Yeah.
so I think, you know when we can add that level of immersion, right, then we really have like a really interesting and unique system that isn't just spreadsheet simulator, which I love spreadsheet
Right.
simulator, but it doesn't have to be just spreadsheet simulator. It should be spreadsheet simulator with a degree of RNG, not just in games, but also in how a player reacts to what's going on in the universe. Make the world lively, right? We want it to
Yeah.
be a lively world, not outside of just us, right? As the human players, right?
Right.
So
And you see it. We can imbue games players with some personality. Things start
sure,
to emerge. You pull what you want from the data, and you can create a narrative. But yeah, it would be fun to have some kind of built in for us to work with too.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely,
Speaking of narratives, transition. It's been a wild year in the NFL. Um,
yeah,
I think it seems like we're growing kind of a bit of a middle class, whereas there
we
was a
are.
little more disparity between the top and bottom. You still got top and bottom, but I think we're seeing a much more broad spectrum of play. Um, Atlanta, you had a pretty interesting development at quarterback, uh, playing Plawecki, who was, I don't know, was he a seventh round or what
Yeah, I believe he was a seventh round pick.
who came in and
Uh,
promptly threw two touchdowns to win you a game.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Padilla went out injured 3 games ago, hurt shoulder, I think it was. So he's actually back this week. He's healthy this week. We haven't officially named a starter yet, but yeah, Plawecki's been playing in his place. I mean, I think he's done uh, about as well as we could imagine he would, right?
Hmm.
I mean, he's still pretty new. He's a third year, I think, in the league, like 62, 65 overall, something like that. Uh, and I think he's still finding his footing. I mean, obviously last week was a rough one. Um,
Tough draw against a good Packers team. Yeah,
yeah, I mean 48-0, but yeah, so it was tough, but I think he showed us flashes of like who he can be. We want to see him make some of those throws and challenge him to make some of those throws. And I think he can do it. 76 throw accuracy is nothing to scoff at, even if so I'm looking at it right now, is overall 64. So it's not like it's amazing, but hey, 76
yeah,
throw accuracy, 63 throw power. I think he can make some plays, and we'll see how he goes, in the
yeah,
future. So yeah.
yeah. Better than 50% completion so far. I think
Yeah.
even touchdowns and interceptions, which with the way the engine is
So
now for the pros, is not terrible, and I think
not terrible. Yeah.
better than Padilla. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was speaking of the random numbers telling a story. Him showing up and breaking a 6-6 tie with a couple touchdowns was a fun story there for a little bit. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it keeps going.
yeah, was not on my radar when it came to young quarterbacks.
Yeah, and we have plenty of those guys on Atlanta. We also have, I mean, don't forget Henry Brown, we just drafted from Michigan.
Mm.
Sorry, not drafted. Did we draft him? Yeah, we did draft him in the sixth round. So we have Henry Brown, who's here. He's fast guy, and then we also have Isaiah Lewis, another really fast quarterback, like
Oh
90
yeah.
something speed.
Wow.
He's also 64 overall. So hey, positions up, right? As I say, every week we start fresh, right?
Hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, depth chart is wiped out at the end of every game, and we build from it that way, and so everybody has a chance to compete, right? So yeah.
Cool. Have you before this before Atlanta, have you had a chance to work with Marroquin on any staff before?
No, actually, this is when he joined. That was the first time we had worked together on the same team. Marroquin's been pretty great. I mean, he runs a really tight ship over there at Houston, and we thought that his experience there translated very well to the NFL, and I think so far it has been. I think he's done a very good job. Has certainly has my full backing. Um, and I'm very happy with where we are. I think we have a ways to go, obviously, um, and I think he's done a great job managing the roster, um, managing getting playtime to some of the younger guys who I
Mm.
think will be the future of the Atlanta team, but at the same time also making sure that we're putting the best team out there that we can every week. Yeah.
Yeah. Who what of the young guys that you've brought in or drafted, who are you most excited to see kind of develop over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, about the quarterbacks, right? We have some pretty great quarterbacks, I think, and I think one of those guys can definitely lead us to glory, in the future. We also have a lot of running backs on the team, a lot of really young running backs. Anyone looking at our team can kind of see that we love the speed guys, and trying to bring some of those guys in. The last couple of weeks, we've seen Sharice Hinoja, for example,
Hmm.
Hinojosa, playing a lot more, and I think he's a rookie, so he's super young, but he's fast. He's a really fast player, one of the fastest guys on the field, one of the fastest guys in the league, honestly. And if I recall correctly, well, okay, I don't remember if it was correct or not, but I'm fairly certain he's one of the fastest combine 40s, and that's why we really liked him. And so we're excited to have him, and then kind of have a 1-2 punch with Ryan Temple as well. Um, another very strong. This he's more of a power. He's a power guy. Also a rookie, but very strong runner, and we're hoping that can be like a nice 1-2 punch for us in the future as uh, as whatever Fulmer decides to hang up his boots or leaves the team. But
Mm.
again, like we have a lot of really good fast guys on the team, and I certainly hope that we can continue to push on that regard. And I will say, on the other, he's a little bit more experienced now, but we love Richie, right? Richie is
Mm.
one of our favorite players on the team. Uh, great player, uh, super fast, 98 speed, 72 catching, 69 route running. So very very solid player. Came to us as our first round pick out of Penn State a couple of years ago, and uh, you know, really excited with how he's been doing with the team. He's putting some really great stats out. We're trying to get him the ball more, and he's on a contract year. So we're hoping he re-signs with us here. Ready to make a very good offer for him to stay in Atlanta. My understanding is he just bought a house, so why would he leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, really really nice house out near Buckhead. So why leave, right? Like, you got a mortgage, man. Like,
Yeah.
moving's annoying. Don't move.
Oh my gosh. As someone who moved a lot as a kid, yes, yes, it is. Still one of my favorite sim names too, Richie.
Oh, great name. Great name.
Yeah. Oh, so that reminds me, question. Do you have an Atlanta connection in real life? Um,
Yeah, I do. I do. I grew up born and raised there, lived there 18 years.
okay.
Actually, without, I guess, without, but also sort of doxing T Sweezy, actually grew up at like a competing high school of mine. Like
Oh,
our high schools are like within like I don't know 5 miles from each other, maybe probably
wow.
a little bit more than that, but like very close. So I lived in the same basically school districts, and we know people that we have mutual friends, which is pretty crazy.
Huh.
But yeah. So born and raised there, 18 years. Lived there. Went to been to a couple Falcons games, not a ton. Been to a couple of Hawks games. Been to a couple of Thrashers games, and a bunch of Braves games. So definitely, and Atlanta United. I've been to a couple of Atlanta United games, even though they were established after I left. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, Atlanta born and raised.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's see. Any other than the Falcons, obviously, other than your own organization, any interesting storylines that you're following or players that you like to watch in either college or the pros? Um,
Yeah, I mean, obviously my own teams. I'm always rooting for, right? Gotta root for my own teams. But I think if we're sticking with NFL here, I think one of obviously the you know NFC South is always a really weird conference or division, right? Like it's we don't have the best teams really out there, right? It's not a very good division, or not a very good division, right? But it's always like this like bare knuckle bloodbath fight
mm,
amongst the teams to see who can like eventually be like the you know 7 and 8 team that makes the playoffs, as the fifth, as the fourth seed or whatever. But I think times are changing, right? Like teams are getting good.
mm.
The Panthers obviously have made huge strides. I mean, all credit to Sergeant Jambo over there. They're running a very very impressive team there,
Mm.
and uh, hey, I mean it's scary competing against them, right? What are they 5-1 right
Yeah,
now?
good team.
Kind of in the driver's seat, but at the same time, right? Like New Orleans, us, Buccaneers, like we're all kind of similar, in standings. So it's like this again, like I said, it's a bloodbath to see who can kind of make it out alive. Um, I personally think the Panthers are probably going to lose out the rest of the season because they suck, and we'll probably end up winning out. So maybe this is an outlier season. I don't know, but no, but for real, like it's if the last couple seasons are anything to go off of, it'll be down to the wire, down to the end to figure out who
Yeah,
really is the best team in the NFC South. But you know, I so I think it's like really always really interesting to see how that goes.
yeah.
And then I think the other thing that at least in the NFL that I've been kind of keeping track of is like kind of seeing like this regression from the Commanders. Okay, regression maybe is a strong word. We're only a couple weeks in, but definitely seeing them to be not as invincible
Mm,
as before, right? Uh, Denver is still pretty good,
yeah.
but
Well,
I don't know. I think, like you
they had an
said,
interesting day today.
yeah. So I don't know. Like you said, right? We're seeing more. parity across the league, which is great. I think as some of the original generated players with the original progressions kind of phase out, get
Mm-hmm.
older, and they retire, or they get or they get cut, or taken to the woodshed by certain owners. Um, I think we're going to see a lot more uh, parity and a lot more interesting, like younger guys coming through,
Mm-hmm.
because that's not something we saw before, right? Most of the time it was like, hey, you're 7-8 years in the league, great, you're starting,
Yeah.
right? But now we're seeing way more rookies. uh, we're seeing guys who are in their first two, in the on the rookie contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're seeing guys who are finishing with their rookie contract, going somewhere else, you know, and then suddenly making a splash over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's super cool, um, seeing that happen in real time, almost, right? I mean, just the changes that we're seeing. I would love to see, like, plot out, maybe in like 3 seasons or something like that, plot out like kind of the trajectory of
Mm-hmm.
like of every team, right? Like kind of going up and down. Um, and I think that'll be really cool. And we're not just seeing that in NFL, but we're seeing that in basketball. We're
Mm-hmm.
seeing that in the college game, and I assume that we'll see that in um, hockey as well. I don't think we'll see it in baseball because I don't think that sim is ever happening. I don't know. Like, have you heard anything about it? I don't know.
I have not. Um,
But sorry,
no, you're
had to
you're
jab that. I had the jab there.
you're
Couldn't
good.
resist. But no, I mean, it'll be cool. So I think, yeah, honestly, I think the parody is the coolest part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is we're starting to see, like, the parody because of player development, of coaching prowess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emerging strategies as people react to kind of new ways that the or like they're reacting to new developments in how the sim is created, and
Mm-hmm.
how the sim runs. And so we're seeing more of that happen. So I think, any given Sunday or any given game day, I guess, could be anybody winning,
Yeah.
right? So
And
super cool.
we're seeing, I think, better engine balance in terms of run, pass, and defense.
Yeah.
Going to take a good pass at special teams next year. Um, we had 3 years of the new schemes, so people can see how those interconnect and have time to build to a scheme, or to look at how, oh, if I know my division rivals have settled into these schemes, what do I do to counter that? People look at that level
Yeah.
of specificity.
Yeah.
The scouting tool is, really robust and gives people a
Love
lot
it.
of
Yeah.
data very quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Great work, Alex.
yeah, yeah. Very cool to see. And now, like you say, we've got rookies. So what? The 24 class was the first boom bust class. So
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
rookie deals are going to be up after next season.
Yep.
Um, and it's interesting. So certain positions which you see that transition faster. Obviously, running back, because of the low prime age. Like almost most of the best running backs now are drafted players. Um,
Hmm.
like those have very quickly cycled through. Quarterback obviously a bit slower. Wide receiver has been oddly slow. Like it's like Will Huber and then a bunch of guys that are catching up. But like
Yeah.
tight end, some of our best tight ends like Phelps and Scott are
Hmm.
drafted players. Cornerback
Oh yeah.
with RTM with Rodriguez and guys like that. Um, so yeah, so some positions you're really starting to see, who comes out on top. Um, and then offensive line is a big group, but tends to just always, there are so many of them. We tend to have at least one or two of these crazy booming, UDFAs,
Hmm.
guys who just show up as a 75. Um, so yeah, it's fun to see that even in the long life cycle of an NFL career, you're starting to see those guys
Yeah.
make impacts um, on the field, and then those high overalls are going to start having an impact on the player management, the GM, the salary side as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
As you get guys who are a lot better at, or at least on paper a lot better. Um, start
Yeah.
asking for that for starter money.
Yeah.
The,
Absolutely.
the other thing is, as the overalls continue to rise, seeing that discrepancy between, oh well, this guy's a 64, but I think he has, he's already shown me something, versus, well, yeah, this guy on paper is a 75, but for whatever reason, he's not producing like one. Um,
Yeah. I know a certain quarterback that's like that.
we've, uh, we've seen a few.
Yeah.
But again, just as that narrative starts to take over, then you get Chop and Noel. Well, Noel's already pretty good, but guys that change teams and take off, and so now it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Do I not have the right scheme? Do I not have the guys around me?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we have.
Uh,
There's enough uncertainty despite the numbers, which I like. That makes it more fun.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
building a team is more than just number go up. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. I would like to, and honestly, look, hey, at the end of the day, I fall trapped to it as well. Like just going through, like you said, right? Like, hey, this guy's number is higher than this guy's number, so I must play a higher number, right? And like,
Hmm.
yes, generally speaking, because of the way players are, how overall is calculated and stuff. Yes, technically that is true, but I would love to be able to get away from that and eventually, I'm not saying get rid of all the overalls because I think overalls is important, right? But I
Hmm.
would love to kind of get away from overalls in a little bit and you're building your team based off of like how they performed. And I guess we're kind of seeing that a little bit
Hmm.
with how the draft works, right? Just because you have a high overall doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to get drafted, at least not early on, right?
Right.
And so that's great because then you're kind of seeing, okay, well, hey, they have the okay overall, but this guy threw 75%. Like, yeah, of course I want to draft this guy, right? But then also like, okay, well, why did he throw 75%? Did he throw 75% and had like 2,000 passing yards? Okay, that's good.
Hmm.
But there's a guy who threw 67% and had 3,500 passing yards. A little bit different, right?
Hmm.
So I think I would love to get away from just looking at a one number and deciding one player is better than the other because number bigger, and kind of moving a little bit more towards, hey, you know, this player is better in overall, but way better stats, or
Hmm.
he was about the same, but he had a way worse supporting cast, something like
Hmm.
that. And I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing that a lot more, which is great. Um, and maybe this is just a personal problem, and I just have to fix it myself. But hey, like it's awesome seeing people play the game in, like I said, less of a linear way and more of a creative way and an analytical way, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. I know someone was talking the other day about like draft bus and how we don't have kind of the
Mhm.
true draft bus that you see in the NFL. And it's like, well, A, that's not always as fun. But also B, it's like you say, like, well, you can calculate overalls. That's still not a linear guarantee of performance, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
as much for, high picks go to bad teams. And if you're picking quarterbacks and putting them on bad teams, they might struggle even if their attributes are good. Um, or if it's like, well, I really need like, an interior lineman, but they're not going to transform your team as fast as an offensive skilled player is,
Yeah,
or as fast as like a CB1 would. Um, we still have some positions that are like harder to judge. Free
yeah,
safeties, off-ball linebackers can be tricky.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I like that there's just enough uncertainty that it's not a guarantee, but I feel like you have enough information to at least make an educated guess.
You find
Um,
trends. Yeah, you definitely find
yeah.
trends. Yeah.
Um, I feel the same way when people talk about like discipline. Like discipline's a hidden stat. We could do a lot with that. Like, yeah, but you don't want like to randomly lose a starter because he like got in a bar fight or failed a drug
Yeah,
test.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Though
And while that might be kind of cool, I don't know, you
right.
know.
But then, of course, the moment, a certain owner gets away with something when a certain coach doesn't,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
can get dangerous.
W-
I
Yeah.
I do think the topic of injuries might come up in the off season because ours are very light.
Hmm.
Um, and I think particularly on the pro side, it wouldn't hurt to maybe bump that up to make better use of roster management, to have an
Hmm.
actual injured classification, which I know 2.0 technically has. I don't remember if it's functional or not. But to have,
Hmm.
in addition to active and practice squad, have kind of an injured
Yeah, yeah,
designation. Um,
yeah,
so
absolutely. And like I said at the beginning, right? Like it's all about that balance of realism with fun.
right,
I want it to be more fun than realistic, but I don't want to lose sight of that realism. We're not an arcade type style game,
yeah,
but I also don't want to be full simulation, right? Like I want somewhere in between. And I think hey, look, if you spend a bunch of time researching the sim and getting the right player that you wanted, and so you spend a bunch of money, and then he goes down injured and he's out for a season,
yeah,
in the preseason, that sucks, right?
yeah,
Is it realistic? Sure. Okay, sure, it's realistic. But it still sucks, right?
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still a game, right? And we want it to be a fun game. We don't want it to be some brutally punishing, like,
Oh yeah,
masochistic game, right? but
oh
but
yeah.
but at the same, yeah,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you look at some of these, like the 49ers, some of like the real life 49ers, or some of the just
Hmm.
terrible situations where it's like, yeah, we're down like our top four receivers. It's like, well,
Yeah,
no
and
one
both
wants
quarterbacks.
that. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I think yeah, we gotta find the right balance. But I think we're getting there, and I think we're at a good spot, honestly, right
yeah,
now. As we tweak, and like you said, hey, maybe we can bump up injuries a little bit, right? um and maybe our Sim Buffalo Wild Wings control center, tweaking goalposts and turning on sprinklers and things like that. So I don't know, we'll see, right? We'll see. you know
yeah. Um, Got to get the NFL overtime rules squared away. Got to give everyone a
yep,
possession. We got to
yep.
fix that.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
little things here and there, little tweaks,
Yeah,
little ads. Um, but yeah, I like where we are. I think it's
I,
always
yeah.
building the plane while it's in flight. But I think
Yeah,
and
but at
yeah,
least we have functioning engines now, yeah,
yeah.
so.
There you go. At least the engines work, and the nose responds to the
Pi-
joystick. Um,
right, and the pilot's most of the time there in the cockpit, most of the time.
but yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think ultimately what we want to do is have a game that's fun, and build a community around it that enjoys spending time doing this ridiculous stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Um,
And speaking of that, sorry, speaking of that, I just, that is my favorite part by
yeah,
far of this whole sim, is the community. I
yeah,
love this community, right? We have guys making, I mean, this show right here is proof of that, right? Like, honestly, when we first started building this, I would not have imagined that something like this would exist. I'll be perfectly honest, right?
yeah.
you know uh I thought the most it would be somebody making spreadsheets that rank teams, right? But no,
Hmm.
we have at least two different websites built that are directly within the universe of SimSN, right? We have Zako's awesome SSCC.
Hmm.
We have Alex Fall's all the things that Alex makes, right?
Hmm.
The real fake tweets, and the his like other mini games that he's building out. Super awesome, right? And it makes me so happy seeing that. Like, I'll sometimes, like, at work, I'll just open up Zako's website. I'll just click through it and just like click random stuff and go through the site, because it's so cool, and it just reminds me of what an awesome dedicated user base we have. And people love it, right? Like, people love these things, and I love these things, and it just makes it so much more fun, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, is it cliche to say like this is why we do it? Like, I mean, this is why we do it,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is why we spend all this money and time and effort, and yeah, okay, sure, we fight with each other every once in a while, fine, right? But if the end result is stuff like the interface and the forum and all the awesome media people put out, right? The podcasts and the spreadsheets and the slides and the charts that Sagebo makes, right? We also have Clem's podcast, the Pickle
Mm-hmm.
Pod, right? Again, we have this, we have a bunch of media that people write about, a day in the life. I'm blanking right now. Was it Fireballer, right? Makes the ESPN Plus type articles. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or someone makes the ESPN Plus type articles are
Mm-hmm.
awesome. You know, uh, we have the draft show that goes
Oh
on.
yeah.
We, we
Oh,
have we
draft
have
weekend is fantastic.
love Draft Weekend. Draft Weekend's awesome.
And the room is just full of people coming in and out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
great.
It's like this revolving door of people coming in who just want to talk about the cool things the reason why they drafted this guy or didn't draft that guy. Sometimes we have a a mock draft from K Green. Only sometimes, not all the time. It happens sometimes on accident, but it's there sometimes. And when it does
Yeah.
happen, it's awesome. And when it doesn't happen, everyone's sorely disappointed.
Yeah.
But of course, he's busy with Miami sports stuff, so it's okay. We get it.
I think
um,
we've had multiple mock drafts for 2027 already.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
that's insane.
Well, didn't we have like a way too early mock draft? Like I
Yeah.
know last year we did. I think Nemo made a way too early mock draft
Yeah.
through the NNN network or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And how many
Yeah,
people regularly every single week, go through for college football or college basketball to rank,
yeah,
and have then built their own whatever they have
yeah,
to rank teams and show up every
yeah,
week.
yeah.
On by the way, it's a pretty tight turnaround to have your games go up
Very
Saturday
very tight turnaround. Yeah,
and then by
yeah,
end
yeah,
of
yeah.
day Sunday to put your and
Yeah.
people are doing that every week just to
Sage
just
has Player of the Week going on like
yeah.
on Saturday or Sunday night or Saturday night, I think. Um,
And
oh, I haven't even mentioned one of the coolest things is when Clem and team and Alex and them make the draft book.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like a
I have one on
200.
my
I have one. Yeah, I have it in my drawer here. It's
yeah.
200 pages or something like that. Not just a PDF, right? Not just a PDF. If it's just a PDF, I mean that's already blows it out of blows my brain already. Like that's amazing. But no, it's a printed copy that gets shipped to me sometimes 3 weeks after the draft, sure, but it's a printed copy with spider charts and information and stats and pictures and a logo. It's awesome. I love it, and it's
Right?
so cool. It is so cool to see that, and people are spending real money and real time for fake sports, right?
That's what we
To,
do.
to take a quote off of you, right? Take it. But I mean, like, isn't that awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, what other community does that?
It's just
What other?
fun.
I was sitting here before I hopped on with you, and I was thinking to myself, like, what if like I turned on the camera and I had like this SimSN hat on, like how funny would that be? And I was like, that'd be crazy, right? And then like as we're sitting here talking about it, I'm like, no, that's not crazy because the community would totally do that.
Hmm.
Right? Like, okay, sure, maybe not everyone's a hat. Fine, whatever. But
Yeah.
like just the fact that we have physical goods, right, for the sim just shows that we have some really dedicated people who are like so excited about a couple of numbers on a spreadsheet
Yeah.
and the odd photo, picture of like a little character on the interface that they're willing to go like to lengths to do these kinds of things. It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, people are dedicating 36 hours of their life with like draft weekend, right? Like,
Yeah.
like okay, not 36 hours, but it's like it feels like it's 36 hours, but it doesn't go like it's 36 hours. It goes by
No.
like it's like 2
It
hours.
flies.
It flies. It absolutely flies. I cannot say enough about what a cool community this is. And it's one of the hobbies that I have that's like nerdy and online that I'm not afraid to like tell real people about, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid to tell real people about this. I'm like I want to show people these things, and when I have a chance to do that, I do, right? I talk about the sim in job interviews,
Mm.
right? Like that's how cool it is. That's I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm glazing ourselves, but
No, it's great. I learned to code because of the sim,
yeah,
and I'm not good at
yeah,
it. But I know
but it's there.
I can read code in multiple languages. I've made
Yeah,
changes just because I was inspired
yeah,
to.
yeah,
Um, I'm hoping we get to do a sim red zone at the end of the regular season with Alex's school.
yeah,
I want to simulcast every game and run the playoff scenarios
yeah.
live. Like,
Be so cool.
yeah,
It's so
I don't
cool.
have that kind of free time. And I'm not a creative person, and yet somehow every time I sit down at this computer, I find myself opening a website or a spreadsheet or something related to this, and then off I go. And it's like, well, what if we did this? What if I tweak this? What else can we do? What else can we try? Um,
You know what I want to see? I want to see some of the significant others from some of the members in the community join the sim. I think that'd be so cool. And okay, maybe on one hand, that's like some people are like, "Hey, this is my thing, right? This is how I relax and
mhm.
stuff." Great, all power to you. There are other people who want to who want to like share this with their significant other also like sports or whatever, and to bring them in. And oh man, how funny would it be to see that, right? Like, oh yeah. Anyways, I don't know, like or like a father son duo coaching,
Mhm.
leading an NFL team. Super cool. That'd be super cool.
Oh man, just endless possibilities.
Oh yeah, endless possibilities. What a great community. I hope this goes on forever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that my experience with the hobbies that have stuck with me the most and have meant the most to me and I've had the most fun in. I has been that I have joined for whatever the thing was, and then the reason I have stuck around is the community and the people. Like that just universally is true. Um,
Yeah.
that and it helps when you have something in common. It helps when there's something similar that you can connect with.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's what lasts is
Yeah.
you know the the memories and the occasions. Like when I talk with my D&D buddies, it's not like, oh, my character did this. It's like, remember when you
Mhm.
did that? Remember when we
Yeah.
were there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's real. And you talk to people about about you know when a GF4 gets drafted and the place goes nuts, or you talk about Hale Hammonds or a pick six or any of these things. It's like it's real. It might
Yeah.
as well be for the fact that dozens of us
Yeah.
remember it and remember where we were and what it was like to experience it together.
I think one of the like the water one of the biggest moments, or like the moment when I realized this was bigger than just the simulation, was when I think it was Sarge came into town for like a training or something, or he was like uh working in the area for a little bit. And he came into town, and we all Rocket was there, and I want to say Sagebo was there as well, and we all like got some drinks somewhere, and just like was just chatted for like 2 3 hours, um, and it was crazy to me. Just we're sitting there, and we're no one's on their phone looking up these stats, right? Or like on their laptop looking up like the roster. But like off the dome, people are talking about, like you said, right? This happened, or this player, or this trade, or this recruit, or whatever it is. Um, and it's so cool to me that people do that, right? Like uh it's like having something that's virtual, or like only exists in a certain space, but then suddenly it's not just in that certain space. It's
Mm.
it's 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 in real life. It's out there, and people are talking about it like it's like real sports.
Yeah.
And that's so wild to me, right? When it first happened, and now I'm like, oh my god, like this is a thing. We've created a thing that people are excited about and want to share with the world, and they're out of their basement dungeon talking about it, right? While we're having happy hour drinks.
Yeah.
So cool. As nerdy as that sounds, it's so cool, right? So
Hmm.
so I'm really happy with what we've created, and like I said, it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect, and that's okay because that's enough for me, right? Or
Yeah.
at least that level is enough for me, and the continuous drive to make this better and better and more inviting and more inclusive and more exciting and more whatever adjective you want to add to it. um
Mm.
yeah, it's great. I
Yeah.
mean, how many guys that I've met from the sim outside of, you know, virtually, right? I've met Sarge, I met Sage, I met Smackums, Poopy, Jambo. Jambo and I went to Taiwan together. I met I met Tuscan. Uh, you know, uh, yeah, it's just super cool. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone off the top of my head, but it's so cool, right? So cool that we're able to do that. So
Yeah.
so yeah. So I hope it lasts. I hope it lasts. My plan in the next 20 years is to buy EA games, and bring the Madden franchise into our fold and stuff. So and maybe also 2K Sport. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking about that one, but
No pressure.
and then maybe Sports Interactive and bring Football Manager as well. So that
Yeah.
it's small steps, right? Small steps.
Yeah. Oh man, I do love it, and I love nothing more than because people, w- especially with like GM games recently, like we've been getting a lot of new people, and
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people just come check it out, and that's fine. But I love when that first question from a new person like pops up in the mentor channel, or they win their first game and then they show up in
yeah,
chat, or someone writes their first bit of media and it's like, oh, we got them, like they're
yeah,
they're
yeah,
they're
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
um,
stuck. They're stuck with us.
because I
Yeah,
want it to grow in the sense of I want it to be sustainable. It doesn't have to get
sure.
massive. I like that we have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
size that we can, reasonably kind of self manage. Um, carve out your own little corner of the internet that doesn't quite act like the internet just
yeah.
yet, and keep that
Just yet.
safe and
Yeah,
special.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
but yeah, I do love when people really dive in. Um, makes me happy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and honestly, there are some people who are really into the sim, but they're not really big talkers, and that's fine.
Yeah,
If you're watching this, that's fine,
yeah,
right? Shoot me DMs, right? Let's talk separately. That's okay. Of course, I encourage you to talk in the Discord. That's our main way of communication, and people are love to hang out in there. Whether it's talking about real life sports or the more important fake sports that we
yeah,
have here. But like don't be shy. Come hang out or message us separately. I think everyone has been in your shoes at some point, and everyone is super. I mean, just look at them. Like you said, the mentor chat. Like, I feel like I've never seen a question go unanswered for more than like, unless it's like 4 in the morning.
hmm
But I don't think I've ever seen a question go unanswered. For more than like 20, 30 minutes.
yeah,
Right? Like people are on it, and not just like one person replying every single time. It's like 3 or 4 people saying the same thing maybe, but like answering in a different way, or like adding extra context, or like confirming like, yeah, you're correct, right? Like it's so cool. That mentor chat is like one of the busiest chats outside of
yeah,
general, which is crazy to me. um but that's awesome because it means people are using it and people are talking and people are asking questions, and it's not just the new guys too. I see plenty of veteran players
Oh
You
yeah.
know, the admins. We talk. We ask questions there too. Like we didn't develop the sim or something. but you know, like I think that's super cool. I think that's super cool. And like I said, don't be shy, and ask questions, whether it's in the Merc chat or directly to one of us. Do it, man,
Yeah.
and we'll give you the answer. Or we'll point you in the right direction. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm here for you.
yeah,
Here for you. Here to make it fun. That's all we can do.
yep, absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a fantastic
Of course.
conversation. You definitely reinvigorated me in terms of like, yeah, this is fun. This is why we do this. Yeah, let's go. So,
Yeah,
my personal thanks to you for kind of
of
refilling
course.
my bucket, as it were, um, as we get ready to go on to the next thing, which I guess now is extensions, and I know someone already mentioned fifth year options, so we'll,
Yeah,
we'll we'll get on that
yeah,
fairly soon.
and the trade deadline coming up
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
2 weeks from now, or
yeah.
yeah, week and a half, I guess.
So for Sim
Yeah.
NFL, not this week. So this week I'm doing I think mid-season awards because I want next
Hmm.
week to be all another trade dump,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I assume there's going to be more. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's funny. It's always something like, and
yeah,
the off season seems so long, and suddenly we're almost halfway through the season, the regular season at least.
yeah,
It moves. It
yeah.
moves.
And the off seasons will be much shorter going forward.
Yeah,
Much shorter. I think the plan really is to do like 2 seasons per year, per calendar year. I think we can do it. I think we can do
I
it.
think we get pretty
Um,
close.
we are getting very close.
I
Last season was a little bit longer than I would have liked, but also it kind of sat in this weird like holiday season time
That's
frame.
true.
Um,
Yeah, we had a
so
couple
but
breaks.
that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, a sports season is about 20 weeks, give or take, right? So we do 20 weeks, call it like a maybe 3 week off season, 3 to 4 week off season. No, that's half a year, right? Just like that.
Well, you
So,
got you got three preseason games. You got 18 weeks
hmm.
regular. That's 21.
No,
Um,
yeah, yeah. NFL's a
currently
little bit longer, yeah, right.
currently we're skipping a week for week 0, which is in college. That's 22. And then you got 4 weeks of playoffs. So that's 26. So you're already at half a year just of the season.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the
yeah,
off season needs to be long enough, even if you're not doing development, to do pre-draft, free
yeah,
agency,
yeah,
draft, post-draft, UDFA. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I
yeah.
think better than 3 seasons in 2 years.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
so
Yeah, we've come a long way, and I think we're hitting our groove, and yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great year.
better every year. Cleveland
Better
Browns
every
motto.
year. Of
All right. Well, thank you, man. Again, appreciate you coming on the show. Um,
course, it's been a blast.
thank you, everyone, for listening. And we will catch you next time. Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye, guys.